Welcome to the second public hearing conducted by the Charter Revision Commission. We will start the meeting by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. My name is Steve Knight, and I have the honor of chairing this commission, and the person to my left is the vice chairman, and her name is Christina Tata. Before we continue, I would like to have each of the commission members introduce themselves again as they did for the initial public hearing, for the benefit of those who were not there at that first public hearing. And we will start with you, Pat. And we don't get up to these mics that often, so.
Tom Corrigan.
Jim Seichter.
Bob Swick.
Christina Tata.
Sam Carmody.
Jonathan Chappell.
Jim Piscotti.
Mark Gingras.
Okay, thank you. Now, before we begin with the public commentary, let me advise you that this hearing is your opportunity to voice your recommendations to this commission. And it has been the case, has been the case so far. You will not have the opportunity at our work meetings, although we are certainly welcome, you are certainly welcome to attend. Having said that, we continue to welcome your written correspondence as well regarding our work as it continues to unfold. You can address such correspondence either to the commission, care of the Wallingford Town Clerk. She also has a list of email addresses for you to use if you contact her. As for tonight's meeting, I will call on individuals in the order in which Christina or I see you. And by the looks of things, it's not going to be hard. When you reach the mic, please give us your name and home address. The format for this meeting is simple. We're here to hear from the public, not the commission members. If individual commission members have questions, they will contact you, members of the public. Out of respect for every member of the public in this room, I would ask that you limit your remarks to one specific topic at a time. Some of you, I suspect, will have multiple topics, multiple remarks on multiple topics, and you will have plenty of time to voice your opinions on any topic relating to the town charter. That's why we are here. Our charge deals only with revisions to the town charter, so please limit your comments to just the town charter. This is not a town council meeting, and this is not a public question and answer period. For that matter, your comments will have far more impact on this commission if you'll be kind enough to deal with just those matters within our narrow purview. Okay, that should take care of the housekeeping. Before we begin with your comments, let me just quickly run through how we have gone about the work of reviewing the myriad of topics and subjects covered in the Wallingford Town Charter. I am not addressing the specific actions we have taken or the revisions that we have or have not made. Those are covered in the minutes of our meetings, and those minutes are available from the Office of the Town Clerk. To date, we have had 7 workshop meetings since the public hearing on May 26th. We have gone about our review in several ways. First, we took up each of the 12 charge items given to us by the town council. In the process, we also reviewed and discussed correspondence received from town departments to date. Second, we reviewed the 7 questions from the 2009 ballot arising from the work of the previous Charter Revision Commission. Third, we brought up every idea and suggestion that arose from either the May 26th public hearing or any written correspondence received from a member of the public. Fourth, we had discussions regarding ideas, suggestions, or interests specific to any of us 11 commissioners. And presently, we're in the process of reviewing the charter itself, chapter by chapter. So you can see that we are approaching the review from various perspectives, trying to be sure that any and all ideas presented to us from various directions get a fair and a thorough hearing. So we will now begin with comments from the public. I'm opening this to anybody who is wishing to speak. Mr. Zandri.
Gino Zandri on 9 Balsamid Circle. Your presentation, I heard you mention you had 12 items that were presented at the first hearing. Out of those 12, were any of those adopted by this committee to move forward on charter revision?
These were the 12 charge items specifically from the town council, and yes, several were adopted.
And how about items that were presented by the public?
Specifically, I had hoped not to have to go through each of those because I frankly am not prepared to. They're in the minutes, and Gino, those minutes are available to you at
Well, just off the top of your head, do you know if any of them are
some
gonna
of them, I'm sure, some of the language issues have been adopted. Everything, I will say this, everything has been thoroughly aired. Whether they've been adopted or not is another story, but they have been thoroughly discussed. They have been vetted. Everything has been considered objectively. I think you would be very impressed with the kind of way that everybody has kept an open mind to every single idea that has been presented and has been willing to hear from any and other points of view of the other commissioners as to the viability or the advisability of adopting any of those ideas.
My only concern is that I know when I was at that first meeting and there was a lot of good recommendations made by the public, but what happens is any recommendation that this committee reviews and then doesn't move forward on, it short circuits the ability for the public to have a vote on those ideas. That's the thing that concerns me. Because, and I'll give you an example, because I'll express the one that I recommended, and mine was term limits. And I said that I would like to see term limits. For example, to have like 5 years or 10 years serving, and then a person would have to then get off, but still would have the ability to run again for the office, but at least it gives a break. Personally, I think that was a good recommendation by me. I don't know whether that passed or not, I doubt it. But again, what concerns me is that the public doesn't have its say. And I think if this committee did a survey of the town residents on just that one item, I think you'd get a lot of people that would be interested in term limits, not only on the local level, but all the way up the ladder as far as elections and people that serve the public. So that's one of my big concerns, is that it gets short-circuited here, and then the public doesn't get its say.
I mean, I'm here. We're hearing what you're saying. I just could only tell you that this process is. We understand it. It's a political process. We are each nominated by either a town councilor or the mayor of the town, and the 11 of us have diligently researched every idea that's come before us. And I sense your frustration of that some of the stuff may or may not have been, some of the ideas may or may not be adopted. But we do feel that we are a representative body of the body which is indeed the legislative body of the town. And I think we've handled things objectively. Whether or not, the fact that we may not have come to the same conclusion that you have is not to say that we weren't respectful of your position and that we didn't seriously consider it.
You know, I understand. Again, the thing that always concerns me about these committees is that you guys have your say, and then we, as the public, don't get an ability to vote on it. And I think that's the problem with the system, okay? And I just wish that any item that was brought forward that has any credibility whatsoever to be moved along, and then the final say is when it goes before the public, and the public can vote on each and every item, yes or no. That's where the public has the opportunity to say, yeah, this is a good idea, or no, I don't want that idea. But unless it gets before the public, they never have the opportunity to voice their opinion one way or the other. And that's the part that really concerns me.
I understand what you're saying. I think what you and I are having a discussion about is a structure of government, almost, rather than specific to this particular process. It's the way our government in Wallingford is structured.
I know one of the other things that were before you was the PUC commissioners, and there are currently 3, and I think there was a recommendation, I think it was from the town council, to move that up to 5. Do you know, did that pass or not?
That was not adopted, no.
Not. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for coming. Mary, would you like to, if anybody else want to address the public hearing? Welcome.
I don't want to really address you. I just came to hear if anybody was going to be unhappy about what the Conservation Commission asked of the committee. And I believe that you guys agreed to go forward with the change in the job description of the environmental planner. Is that true?
Just introduce yourself and your...
I'm Mary Heffernan, 168 East Side Drive.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
That's
but,
okay. So did the commission agree to go forward on that change in the charter revision?
Where do we stand? I think we did, yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I've been on vacation for 3 weeks. I might as well have been on another
Jim,
plan.
you ought to know. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Are there further specific questions regarding, Gino, again, we're talking about things you would like for us to consider or reconsider having to do with the work of the Charter Revision Commission. Please come up and
I'd just like to make one more comment. I'm really pleased to see that this meeting this evening is going to be televised. The
Yep.
public's going to have a chance
Yep.
to view it. It's too bad that the first one didn't have the same ability, because that one was a very important meeting. A lot of residents did attend that meeting, and unfortunately, that one was not televised. So it's
yeah, we're pretty certain it was.
the one that was up in 315.
Oh, no, the public hearing. The public hearing was here on May 26th.
The one. How about the meeting that was up in 315?
That's where we hold our workshops. They're not televised.
That wasn't a workshop that night. That was when we made our recommendations.
Are we talking about the same Charter Revision Commission?
Yep.
No, Gino.
No?
No.
All right, then I'm staying corrected.
That's okay, but we're glad you're here now. And have you got any other, if not, if there are no other comments, and I'll ask 3 times, if there are any other public comments for us regarding the Charter Revision Commission work. Ask it a second time. and I'll give everybody a third time to further ask questions or certainly make recommendations to this commission of anything that they'd like to put forward. And hearing no more interest in making comments within this room, I would also, because as Mr. Zanders suggests, this is a televised meeting, we invite you once again to submit written requests for topics, suggestions, any recommendations. We are in the process right now of, as I mentioned before, of specifically going chapter by chapter, line by line through the charter itself. And so the process is still very open. Yes, we have considered many, many issues. That's not to preclude the possibility of reconsidering any of them. So this is, we are doing the work we feel that the public wants us to do, and we'd like to hear from anybody that has issues they'd like to have us take up. If that is the end of, that's the end of what I have to say, and I believe at that point I would just make a note that our 8th meeting will be this Thursday, October 6th. It will begin at 6:30, and it's upstairs in this building in room 315. And I will say once again that the public is invited to attend all of our meetings and view the work that we're doing. Thank you very much for coming, and we will call this meeting to a close.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the meeting is closed.